Welcome to my first ever podcast of I'm Just a Girl. I'm your host, Brooke Early, and my idea with this podcast is just to use my experiences as a D1 athlete and life as a guide for girls to feel like, they're not alone. So I'm excited to announce that my guest today is Ava Tortorello, a defensive specialist at the University of Arizona Volleyball team. Welcome to my first ever podcast, Ava.
Yeah, thanks, Brooke, for having me on. I think this is awesome that you're doing this, and I can't wait.
Yeah, this is super exciting. I love it. So today we're going to get into deep topics of the over-sexualization of women's sports, mental health, and eating disorders in female athletes.
Lovely. All the good stuff.
Yeah, deep, right into it.
Getting into it. Love it.
Yeah, so context for the viewers, Ava and I are both seniors at Arizona, and we met through athletics, where she is on more of a team sport, and I'm a diver, so I come from more of an individual sport. So Ava, can you give me more insight to your career at Arizona, as well as explain, why did you choose Arizona?
Definitely, yes. Well, I knew I wanted to play college volleyball because of my mom and my aunts. My mom played at Wisconsin, and my aunt played at Penn State. So immediately I was like, I have some big shoes to fill. I want to go to a big school. I went to a really small private high school in Chicago. So I knew I wanted to just meet new people and go far away, honestly. I wanted to experience, a different part of the United States, and Arizona was definitely that for me versus downtown Chicago. So yes, I committed here when I was going into my junior year of high school. I don't know how it works for swimming, but for volleyball, coaches will invite you to their college camp over the summer, and then you just get recruited based off that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I committed after camp going into my junior year, and, just immediately loved it here as soon as I got here. Volleyball was always an up and down roller coaster because I am a walk-on. So
right.
I knew I wouldn't, maybe get as much playing time as I would have at a different school.
Right.
But honestly, I wouldn't have traded my career or my experience here for anything, no matter the ups and downs. So yeah.
No, I love it. But I heard that you mentioned in the family, it runs in the family for college. I had the same experience. Yeah. My parents went to D1 schools for athletics as well. So I understand kind of that pressure, even if they don't put the pressure on you.
Totally.
It's still there and you want to live up to it. So I get that.
Yes, I know. Because you have expectations.
Right.
Not only for yourself, but that you want to fulfill for your family, because you feel like you need to keep the trend going in a way, and you want to live up to everything they did, which is honestly not a bad pressure. I'm happy that this pressure took me here,
For sure. It led you to great places, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so diving into our first topic today, I wanted to bring up the idea/problem with the over-sexualizing of women's sports. And originally, my cousin brought this idea up to me, and she comes from soccer, a widely televised sport like yours. So I wonder how often you would get comments in person or social media about you or your teammates about your appearance instead of you as a player.
Definitely. Just even playing in McHale and that being in the spotlight and knowing you're going to be on ESPN that day, you're like, okay, I want to wear some makeup today. I want to feel good. My whole thing really was look good, play good. I correlated those two things together. But was that because I wanted to look good for other people or
Right.
I mean, especially with volleyball, you're surrounded by other girls and you're always comparing yourself to other girls on your team, other girls on other teams, and you're like, wow, that girl's so pretty. When she plays, she looks so good. Of course I wanted people to say that about me, so I would put on makeup every day for volleyball games, but honestly, it made me feel more confident, so I'm all about that. And I think as us girls, especially on the Arizona team, we all supported that and always hyped each other up and in the best ways possible. But honestly, as far as comments go, I definitely received those weird requests on Instagram.
Of course.
Very weird. And honestly, very just inappropriate.
Right.
It's always, the old creepy guys in the requests, and that honestly didn't impact me in the best way just because I wanted people to watch me to play volleyball. I didn't want them.
That's why you're there.
Exactly. I didn't want them, judging my body or judging how I looked. I wanted them to be like, wow, she's a great volleyball player. And, even the other day, I was talking with these two older guys with my friend and teammate, Amanda, and before they left, they were like, yeah, your sport has the best shorts.
That's so weird.
And
That's so weird.
Me and Amanda were like, why? What does that have to do with
the game?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And so we're always getting the spandex jokes, that's for sure.
That's so funny that you say that, because that goes right into my next thing of there was a rule change with volleyball, right? Recently, past few years or so, where, as long as it's the same color, you guys were allowed to wear whichever shorts you wanted.
Yes, a lot of girls have been wearing leggings more often now, honestly, just because it's easier to dive on the floor that way. Like, you see a lot of liberos and DSs wearing leggings now, and a lot of outside hitters, like anyone who passes, really, to just be able to slide and get off the floor. But no, we wear spandex because, it's just easier to move that way.
No, agreed. I wear that every day.
Right. It's easier to work out that way. When my mom played, she had bun hunkers.
Oh.
It was like a diaper, like literal underwear, and it would scrunch up. Okay.
That does not seem comfortable.
It's progressed in better ways, obviously, from bun hunkers to spandex to now leggings. So,
right.
Yes. But honestly, it makes us more athletic. Like, we wouldn't be able to do the things we're doing in our sport with running shorts. Like, sorry, they're getting in the way.
Exactly. No, I perfectly said.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, switching topics a little bit, and getting actually a little bit deeper, but this is for anyone who is experiencing or has experienced or has a friend experiencing this as well. It's something that I really wanted to talk about. So, eating disorders, more specifically in female college athletics. And I wanted to share a few of these facts that I found that I want listeners to hear us speak about our own experiences with it right after. But, okay, so here are some of the facts. So, according to Mass General Brigham, up to 70% of female athletes may engage in behaviors that can develop into an eating disorder. So that was just females. And then data from an editorial by Within Health says that up to 84% of college athletes, so men and women, engaged in disordered patterns of eating. And then research also shows that athletes from individual sports pose a higher risk than team sports. So with this information, I would love to hear your thoughts and possibly experiences with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's so sad how many female athletes go through this. And, now that I'm out of sport and realized it all, it just breaks my heart. I wish I could just tell myself, like, yeah, you're supposed to eat.
Exactly.
You're a Division I athlete. Like, why?
It's fuel.
Seriously. Like, no matter what, I would say that to myself, okay? I'd be like, yes, I'm an athlete. I deserve to eat this. I can eat this. Or, yeah, let me treat myself to ice cream. Like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're an athlete. Even, if you're not an athlete. Like, I found that it's all about balance and positive self-talk. No matter how many times I said to myself, you deserve this, I still felt guilty.
No, of course.
Every time.
Because the next day, then you're like, oh, what if, this bad day is because like I ate that or something.
Seriously.
You know what? Yeah.
Or how, especially how it affects your performance.
Totally.
I mean, we're doing Olympic lifts.
Right.
Okay. We can't be eating salads every night. Sorry, that's just not, we're not going to have a good workout the next morning. But it's very sad to see how many women go through this and how difficult it is on just our minds and our souls and how it impacts us and our confidence, especially on the court. I mean, yeah, it's honestly very tough, and I wish it could say that it's gotten better for me.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you're a few months out of being in college athletics.
Yeah. I mean, the greatest thing I've learned from being out of it is that viewed as fuel.
Right.
And it's important. And it should not, I wish it didn't consume my mind as much as it did. But my one piece of advice, just being from out of sport and everything, is having balance, having your friends to lean on, and make smart choices. Seriously, that will make you feel better.
Right. And it's, like you said, like it's all in moderation.
Yes.
And using your friends, you mentioned, I feel like so many people feel like they're alone. Yes. You look at your teammate and you're like, why don't I look like that? Mm-hmm. You're like, we play the same sport.
Yes.
Why don't I lift like that? Why don't I, you know what? And it gets in your head, and even you can tell yourself as many things and you still might not believe it.
Yes.
And Arizona, I love the amount of support that we get. Like, I go to sports psych every week. #love psychology there.
No, me too. I mean, we are so lucky to have the support that we have here.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Like, truly. And I hope people get the help that they need at other schools, you know.
Right.
We're Arizona. Of course thank goodness we have this. I just feel bad for everyone that doesn't have these outlets like we do here. For sure.
No, of course. And even like learning from coming in from high school where your parents, make all your meals, and then you come into college and you're like, oh my gosh. And, you come into an environment where people go out and drink. Let's be honest. I'm not talking about, this person underage drinks, whatever. People are going to drink. And what that does to an athlete's body, just a body in general, but an athlete's body, and how much it changes it. Like, my own story is freshman year, I gained so much weight. I was eating all the time, and I have never gained this much weight. Like, I can eat anything and it would just pass through, right? Yeah.
It's the nice part about being in high school.
Yeah, exactly. And then literally within like months, it just switched, and I got the freshman 15 in a few months, and everything about my confidence went way down, and I just did not know how to feel about myself. Mm-hmm. And that brought on so many more stressors, and then I got diagnosed with so many different medical issues and all these gut issues and all these things. And then we found that over time, like, yes, I do have these gut issues, but it stems from stress.
Yeah.
And so I mean, over time I lost that weight, but like how that impacted my mental health, oh my gosh. And especially as a diver, I'm in a suit every day, and we do a dive. We get out of the water, we go look at the video of our dive. And for months on end, I would honestly like forget about, sorry to my coach hearing this, but sometimes I would not even realize I'm watching the dive because I would be so stuck on looking at my body in it and being like, oh my God, I hate how I look.
That is so real. That is so real. I feel that. I know anytime film would like pop up, I'm like, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to how I look. Like, how does my hair look? How does my body? Is my quad popping?
Right.
Like, what's going on? No, that is so real.
And I worry about, the gymnasts, the dancers, the ones who are literally looking in a mirror 24/7.
Oh my goodness.
I just, I have so many friends from high school and from college that were in gymnastics, and the amount of just similar of us, but just they have been ingrained in this, told what to eat, what you can't eat. This is what happens when you eat an ice cream cone after dinner. It's something that they're going to have to, and all of us are now, but going to have to relearn.
Yes, 100%. I know. I'm lucky to have the culture that I do, volleyball-wise. I mean, we were always supportive of each other and would want to hang out and get food all the time. We had a great culture on our team, and we supported each other no matter what. And I think that's what made it easier for me and everyone else that was going through, restrictive eating to binge eating. I've been through it all.
Right.
I've literally feel like I've gone through everything you properly could have. Yeah, so I'm just really happy that volleyball has a good, solid culture. I know.
That's amazing.
Unlike maybe gymnastics or dancing, and I can't imagine being in a swimsuit every day.
I mean,
being in a bikini like over the summer is hard enough sometimes.
That's so true. But like, I mean, okay, so we're talking so much about women, and like even talking to the guy friends on our sports teams, or even when I was talking to my ex-boyfriend, like they go through a lot of the same things, like binge eating you brought up.
Yeah.
I've had so many girls and guys talk to me, and they've experienced binge eating, and so much of us have talked about how much that has affected our culture, where we have one piece of candy and we're like, well, I guess like that just ruined it all. So I guess I'm just going to have the entire bag. And you keep eating and eating. There are if you haven't tried the Trader Joe's peanut butter cups, the dark chocolate, I can't even give that big container, because I will eat it all in a few days.
Gas.
I told this to my coach. I was like, I will not want it in the day. I'll be all great. I walk in, I know it's in my house, and I will be craving it. I cannot stop myself from having it, even though I know I'm intolerant to fructose. I cannot have this stuff because it actually my body doesn't like it. But I just cannot keep going through that cycle anymore.
No, I feel.
Yeah, and my coach goes, that's like addiction, you know that? And I was like, yeah.
It's so hard to not finish it, though. Like, if it's so good, you're like, I can't just have 5. Like,
no, literally. But I wonder also, this just like came to me, like the dopamine hit that we get from it. I wonder if has to do with, okay, people non-sports can go through this as well, but I'm just thinking how many athletes, like every single person has told me they binge eat in athletics, basically. Almost 100%. Yeah. And like, I just wonder, like, is it because we're so used to getting like hits of dopamine from our sport that this candy or this sugar or whatever is giving us the same dopamine hit just fast?
Same feeling.
I wonder if that's just what gets us into it.
I wouldn't, put it past it. Seriously.
Agreed.
I mean, I think when I would binge, it would be because I was stressed out. Like, I would eat a lot. I'm a stress eater, Those Tostitos lime chips, hate to see me coming when I have a test the next day or a really hard practice the next day, or sleds, I also feel like with athletes, it's like we know we're going to work out tomorrow, Yeah. So we're like, okay, bring it on. But that is not healthy, and it's not good for our bodies, obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, I wonder why so many athletes do it.
Just because we know, okay, I mean, I shouldn't have this candy, I shouldn't have it, and then you have one, and then you just go down this.
It's the restrictiveness, always. I think that's what causes,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, going into our next topic, which is kind of the same, but a little different, mental health as a student athlete. Look, it's different for everyone, so I'm not going to assume, but college is hard. Being a college athlete is also hard. So what are your opinions on mental health in college and then in athletics specifically?
Yes. My opinions are that it's always going to be a roller coaster. You're going to have really, really good days. You're going to have really, really, really bad days. And it's so hard because your identity is your sport. You have to do it the next day. There's no, I'm going to sit this one out.
Right. Yeah, you have to go in the next day.
There's no sick days. Okay, they don't offer sick days.
No.
I mean, I've tried. Okay, my trainer was like, "No, you're going."
Oh, sorry, this doesn't work.
So there's no getting out of it, and I think using all the resources you have at your campus that we have here at Arizona,
right,
is so important. I know
So
some
important.
people are like, yeah, therapy's not for me, even if you just go like once every 2 months, like that's healthy, just to like let it out. I wish I would have used, sports psych earlier.
Right. I feel like a lot of people who get into it later on, they say that.
Yeah, that was definitely me. And I think as an athlete, I think confidence is really what got me through my 4 years here.
Interesting that you say that.
When I was super low, the only thing that would bring me back is having confidence in myself.
Yeah.
I would have such a bad practice. I mean, so a little bit more about my career. I started setting here for 2 years, and then they were like, we're changing your position. We're changing you to a DS because, I mean, I'm pretty short for a setter, and so I wouldn't play ever as a setter.
Sense.
So honestly, it was a positive opportunity for me. But they were I was playing a whole new position.
Yeah, that's insane. In college.
That I've never played before in my life.
I mean, you seem to make it work. You played this year after your injury. I saw that.
Thank you. Yeah, because I worked hard because I knew that I had to give it all I had, but all I had was confidence. I didn't know how to serve receive. I'm a setter. I haven't done serve receive in my whole life. But the only thing that, brought me out of those hard moments was just knowing who I am and how confidence really is key to your success and your happiness.
Yeah.
You make your own experience.
Right.
You make your own experience. How do you want to remember this? I can be down in the dumps, which is okay sometimes.
Right.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to let it out, But then you got to move on,
Yeah.
You got to bounce back.
Yeah.
And I think confidence really helped me with those bad mental health days.
No, that's super good advice for everyone who's going through it, which is good for me. Hey, look, with this podcast, I'm an oversharer. No. So everyone's going to hear a lot about me.
I feel like everyone's interested, so keep it coming.
But literally, college athletics, you agree with me, like, it's an up and down road with mental health.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Constantly.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, confidence, okay, it's easier said than done.
Right.
I've been through a lot for me to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's never there's never a straight line here.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Like, my freshman year, best year of my life.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. But then, I got to start locking down, started actually training really hard. And, I got a lot of injuries, got 4 concussions in 6 months.
Goodness.
And injuries to an athlete, mental health just,
Oh,
yeah. So the medication made me super depressed. And literally, I didn't know how to handle it. I've never been depressed in my life. And just not knowing what to do and losing so many friends because I didn't know how to handle just life in general, that was just tough. And just being in college with all that. So finding people, like my team got me out of that. Like the love for diving got me out of that. But, then it was junior year, my best year of diving. I ended up doing really well, but then this year there's just so many things that keep piling on, and then I'm back on that same medication that made me depressed, and I'm should be at the best of my career, and I am, but also I'm so stressed about everything about my career that it's making me not my best at my career, you know?
Totally.
So just using those.
Yeah, I completely relate.
Yeah.
This past year, my senior season, it's supposed to be my best year yet. I'm ready to go. Probably get the most playing time I've ever had, here.
Right.
I was super excited. Boom, stress, fracture.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you on the side.
Boom. And then, okay, so I got the stress fracture, but then I developed this thing called CPRS, which is called Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. And I developed this because I had so much anxiety about my injury.
No. Oh, so everyone listening, go find someone to talk to. Get your anxiety out.
Seriously, if you're injured, you need to talk to somebody because I was the same way as you. I didn't know how to handle it. And I shut everyone out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how can I not move my body right now?
Right. It's weird.
Yeah, definitely use those resources because anxiety's got to be let out somehow.
I love this. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
You're amazing.
Your advice was perfect for everyone, honestly.
I hope so.
For everyone listening, either going through it or honestly just listening for a friend who might be going through it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so be sure to follow Ava along in her next journey on her Instagram at Ava Tortorello. If anyone felt like this podcast resonated with you or helped you understand that you're not alone, that is my whole purpose for this. So be sure to subscribe to my channel as well as follow my Instagram, Brooke_Early. Early is spelled EARLEY, not the normal way. Or Brooke.Early on TikTok. And shoot me a DM asking me any questions to put in these episodes. All right, bye. Thank you.